today. Thanks to Brad Samaro from Ace Hardware. You really did bring so many things, but we're going to start with getting things pretty.
Getting things pretty, and I don't know if that's the right thing for a boys' room, because this spring my wife said it's time to redo the boys' room.
All right, that's fair.
And so the first thing you always have to do is, you know, we've got people that know paint at the stores, and my son's a big Twins fan, so it's going to be Cardinal and Navy, along with a little bit of white with the color selection. We also have the Clark and Kensington line, which has painted primer in one. And we've got a couple of finishes that are rated by a nationally ranked consumer magazine as #1 in their category, in the satin and the semi-gloss finishes. So we'd invite folks to give it a try if they haven't. Clark and Kensington's one of our very strong brands.
Yeah, and you also brought things that, you know, you need to fix things up even before you paint.
In a project that you can do over the course of a weekend for a total of 8 hours, you need to do some repairs. Of course, he's a boy, and you'd repair the drywall, and I've got this here kit.
Yeah, this is cool.
Wall and ceiling repair kit for dummies. In case you're less comfortable walking into a hardware store and deciding exactly what product that you need to get the job done, it's an all-in-one kit for the small repairs, especially if you're going to be doing some repairs before that.
Yeah, what else do you have there?
Then you're going to need to sand it down. Then you're going to need to take the tack cloth so you can get the dust off, and then you're going to need to clean it with TSP and a sponge.
Okay, I haven't heard of that. That's just a cleaner.
Try sodium phosphate.
All right, very good.
Then you're going to need to mask off the area. This is something that I haven't brought before for our paint segments. This is the handy masker. You put as big an area as you want, and as you can see by the sequence of pictures, it's like running a big tape line, except you can have it pre-built with the tarp and the drop cloths already in it, so you can do that.
Because I think prepping is worse than painting. The painting part is fine. That part, so this will make it easy.
It will make it easy, and then of course you need to mask off any areas, remove the outlet covers and things like that. Then comes cutting. I tend to use a 2.5-inch brush or a 2-inch brush with an angle to get cut into the corners and to get cut along the trim. It's a real easy thing to do. Then you take a roller, and then for the type of wall that my son has in the room, you take a roller cover with this particular nap for a semi-smooth surface. Make sure you go into a nice X and Y direction with that.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's all kinds of other little things. If you don't like to paint above your head, something like this is going to go, and it's a lot smaller than this big roller, so it's going to be a lot lighter when you use it.
Can the kids help?
Absolutely. That's one of the projects, and of course you have to use good common sense, but if your kids are good and safe, and this is latex paint, so it's a little bit safer than an oil-based paint, it's a real good way to get them involved in the home projects. And one of the things that I like to do is get my kids involved in the home projects, show them the new gadgets that you have in the paint department and things like that as well.
All right, very good. So that's a good way to make things pretty. Now, this is the deal for me lately that I am so glad you're talking about, because the other day, walking around, all of a sudden in my kitchen, scorpion. I'm like, it's not hot yet. I don't want to see them.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about snow and that 5-minute storm we had in Ahwatukee in the afternoon. And now we're talking about scorpions. And as it warms up, the crickets get active, which is something that the scorpions eat. If you see a scorpion at your local Ace Hardware, get a tong or a tweezer and just grab it and flush it down the toilet.
Why not just smash it?
That's another way to do that too. But if you don't have a tong or a shoe handy, you've got to be very careful, because they are very toxic.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that you'll want to do is take a black light, because as we saw on the teaser before the commercial, is that they do glow in the dark.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you haven't done it and you get a black light and then you look and the scorpion lights up, we kind of go scorpion hunting, you know, at night. We have a lot of rocks in our backyard.
It's a riot, especially for little kids. And then a couple of other different products that we use. The Taro is something that I use inside and out along with the Mighty Dust, and they're good to help prevent scorpions. You're not going to keep them out forever, but you're going to want to keep them out as long as you can and in between treatments. A couple of other things that I do is I've got this last step trap, and it's got a picture of a snake and a mouse on there. What I use that for, I find that it gets any crickets that get into your house this time of year, and crickets are, along with the glue boards, I'll use that as bait to get the scorpions.
I have this in my house,
and they work tremendously. This is something new that I haven't brought previously, but this is something where you can put it along the baseboards, you can put it along the doors, so if those little areas where they try to get in, it's an easier way to do that.
It makes a big difference.
Remember, they like to move when the attic gets really hot. They move from the attic to warm, moist places like under the sink,
oh, you just gave me the
laundry
chills.
room, and all those different places. You also want to try to seal around there. So take a grate foam if you've got anything the size of a dime or smaller, seal it with something flexible like the Blue Style, something that's designed for bigger holes like this, or then the standard can like that.
All right, really quick before we go too, you also want to get rid of the weeds because I've noticed they've gone crazy lately.
They have, because of the great warm weather that we've had recently. And of course, we talked about that a little bit last month. You can spot treat with something like this. We still have the Pump and Go for a great price from our friends at Roundup, and along with the Ace brand, which are very good, along with these other ways to get rid of critters.
All right, there you go. acehardwarephoenix.com/DIY to find out more. And don't go away because we have a lot more to come here on Arizona Midday, everyone. We have more home health. This